We just start the show. Tandi, why you mad?
What it do?
What's up, baby?
Why you so mad,
Kobe Bryant. Me, I'm Paul Wall Frazier.
You can't be playing and you can't be too mad.
The bear is mad.
He's kind of like, not necessarily mad, but kind of like matter of fact, like don't fuck with me. That's like don't fuck with me, bear.
Yeah.
Like
That could be a character.
It's like that stop playing or don't play with me kind of face.
Oh, yeah.
Don't play bear. Yo.
Or a bear that you cannot tell anything.
Which bears can you tell something to?
Winnie.
When
he seemed very convincible.
Or Yogi. He's playfully disrespectful. He seems like he listens, but he's not. He's not malicious.
Yeah, he's not malicious bear.
And none of us are malicious bears either. We can't tell us nothing. An improv group out of Houston, Texas. John, Tandi, Amechi, myself, Antoine make up the gruesome foursome that is Can't Tell Us Nothing. This is the Can't Tell Us Nothing show. We take opinions, discussions, topics, turn into improv scenes on the spot right here in front of your eyes. We just make them shits up. Hello, Benita in the chat. How's it going?
Yes.
She wants to know, are you Teddy's or Grizzly?
Right.
With cares. The Care Bears.
I gotta say Teddy's in that case.
Yeah. But Teddy's could be vicious, you know?
Yeah. This one seems a little spicy. Like he's 1/4 Grizzly. He's 1/4 Grizzly.
Great grandfather was Grizzly. I got that in me. It's in my blood.
Great grandfather was Grizzly.
Did you guys see that video of that woman who pushed the bear off the fence?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So I don't even know what part of the world it's in, but it's like the backyard area. There's some dogs and there's like this bear crawling on the fence like a squirrel would, right? With her cubs. Like they're all there. And the dogs are barking at it and the bear starts swiping at the dogs and actually picks one up. And the owner runs out and just pushes the bear off the fence with her bare hands.
That's some gangster.
Dogs and run.
That's why we have bare hands for bears. We just had the
I need my bare hands.
Push some bears. My bare hands.
No, definitely, man. That's gangster though. That sounds like the lady who like picked up the car to save her baby. You know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That was some dog love, and she had 4 of them. She could have spared one. You know, it's like
the dog to spare.
You grab your favorites first.
Yeah, she got the little one. Like she grabbed the little one, but the other ones that were kind of making noise. I was like, that lady got some dog love. I appreciate that, but I don't know if I would have done that. Would have been a lot of yelling. Get away, bear! Go! Come back! Come back, Missy.
Not that one. Take the other one. If you got to take one, take him.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, but John, you talk about our bears.
Absolutely. So if y'all are watching the podcast, we developed a new item. Call it the Seaton Bear. This is a bear that's so real that he doesn't have to listen to anybody. And we're also going to be running a contest and giving away free hats with the bear on it and the Seaton. Can't Tell Us Nothing on the back. And if you submit your name in the contest, we do a little raffle, and I think we'll pick out 3 people, and those 3 individuals will get free Seaton Bear hats. So shout out to the Seaton Bear. Hope you like it. Of course, if y'all want to do some fan art or whatever about it, that's cool as well. And that's what it's about. So we're trying to make this a family. I want everybody who likes the show or likes the group to be able to be a part of the family in some way. And what better way to do it than a hat? That's what it is.
Yeah. That's because I haven't seen family reunion hats yet, John. But sounds like you like you making it a thing. Instead of
Make it
t-shirts, you getting hats this year.
We had some family reunion hats back in the day. I remember, like in '93, we had those trucker family reunion hats to go with the shirts, and our family was always on point. If you didn't wear the shirt, it was bad news for you. So it's kind of like that, Tandi.
Got it. I understand. Yeah, we never graduated to a hat. We're just strictly t-shirts. So I may introduce that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to enter the contest so I can get my hands on them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you definitely got to.
That's right.
Antoine, he missed his
Good luck.
pickup.
Yeah.
I got the OG swag.
Got the OG.
Good luck. Mm-hmm.
And we will be wearing these at our shows, hopefully. At least I'm gonna.
We gotta
ain't gotta be wearing them in the show, but you.
Just like bring it with us.
There, yeah.
Like toggle it to my purse. Okay.
Yeah. Shauna, it is a Care Bear gone rogue. It was one that he started maybe smoking and drinking, started reading philosophy, and was like, man, there's way other things out there than just caring. And he got a little into nihilism, came back. Now he's just kind of like more, more jaded bear.
Does it matter a Care Bear walking into the room? What is all this smoke?
Quiet, you're messing up my chi. Yeah. And of course, like he's the guy that nobody likes to ask questions or talk to because he's going to be so honest and real that, they don't like it. They're too nice, right? They're too caring. Well, some of them are. He messes with some of them,
No, I like it.
Glad.
I just want, in my head, he has Tone Locke's voice.
Oh, that's how. Oh,
y'all know who Tone Loke is.
I still heard him sounding sweet, but saying awful things. Like he'd still have like that cartoon berry sound, but he's not saying nice stuff.
So he's like doing Kanye rants with the Care Bear voice. Cussing people out.
Y'all falling for the capitalist trick, my bear brothers. Okay. They want you to consume so that they can move us from our natural habitat into.
Where do Care Bears live? In the clouds or something?
Oh yeah, that's right. They're not even in
I thought they
in
live
the forest.
They live in Care Bear land. They live land without feelings. No.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a bear concentration camp. They remove some, their natural habitat, experiment. Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever asked who's keeping us here? Why can't we leave?
That's right.
Absolutely, man. Shout out, man. Okay. But yeah, Tandi. I didn't want to go too deep into the Care Bears. I wanted to get more into the Kevin Samuels information.
Well, before you did, I did send the link to the clip. So
run
that clip real quick to the bear.
To the bear,
and then we'll get into the.
Of course,
that's the next part.
Let's run that real quick.
Yeah, good stuff first.
Because if you, I think it's worth seeing if you haven't seen an actual clip. It's short.
Okay.
On TikTok. Oh yeah. Debo. Look, he coming back like what?
Oh wait. Why? Why did the black dog look back at him like, damn, and then like, you coming? Because the The dog is already running back to the house. He's gathering up the little dog. Like, oh,
No, forget them. Go.
The dog is out of there. Smart. I like how she just ran Terry Tated the bear. Like just knocked this straight. Blitzed him on the wall and knocked him straight off. What kind of bear is that, man? You ain't a real bear, dog. You letting that
you know if the other bear saw that. Yeah, you know if the other bear saw that.
Not from our neck of the woods. You're not getting knocked down like that. You had 5 animals that you could have ate, and you let one human bully you off of the man.
But you see, it was my positioning. I wasn't stable. See, I didn't have my equilibrium.
It's always the equilibrium. Every time you mess up getting food, it's always the equilibrium. We're sick of hearing it.
Fell into the water. You trying to catch salmon? Your equilibrium.
Do some bear yoga or something. Just like figure it out.
Well, how about y'all stop sending me out to do those tasks? If you know my equilibrium, I've been wanting to do the books in this bear community for years. Nobody will let me do the accounting. I don't understand why.
You got to start on the ground level. If you can't swipe salmon, we can't trust you with salmon. How are we going to trust you with the inventory and the books? I mean, that's a serious job. You can't be falling asleep on that kind of job. We won't have enough inventory for the great hibernation. You know, remember Amechi? He had to wake up 3 times, right? Because we missed that audit. We don't want to happen again.
I'm saying we're all endowed with certain gifts. I'm clumsy. All right, let's just go ahead and accept that. I'm a clumsy bear, and that's it. And I know you got your procedures. We all got to start from the ground level up. But I'm just
all
not
right, hold
going
on. Tell you what, we'll give you a shot. You see that pile of books over there?
All right.
I need you to move that pile of books to the other table that has the salmon we got, so we can start doing the numbers, okay? But those books are in order. Don't mix up the order. All right?
Okay.
Or else we're gonna have to go wake up Amechi, and he's hibernating right now.
All right.
Simple job.
Gotcha. I can do it.
From one stump table to the other stump table.
We cut the Tandi bear walking into the HR cave. Tandi, coming in. Okay. I heard from some of the other bears that you're having some trouble with some of the simple bear activities that we've been doing.
Yeah. I'm trying my best, but like I told him, everybody is endowed with certain gifts. I'm just clumsy. I mean, my strength is mental.
You're the only clumsy bear we have here. I was thinking, maybe being a bear isn't for you. Maybe some other type of animal, you could go live with and learn from.
You firing me from being a bear?
Yeah, I think we're
bear anymore.
We're gonna have to let you go. Yes, you cannot be a bear anymore.
I didn't know that could happen. I thought that's just what I was.
No, we're gonna let you go. We're happy to write you, a recommendation, something to help with your resume. We're happy to do whatever we can to help you find a new place that would be more suitable for your skill set.
All right, welcome to the mountain. As you know, we got a position that recently opened for a mountain goat. So the position's pretty simple. Stand up on the mountain up there, right there on the cliff. Eat the grass. Pretty much all you got to do. Move around the mountain a little bit. Make sure the people see you. Take pictures. But yeah, that's pretty. Watch out for eagles.
I got to climb up there.
Oh yeah, right up there. Follow me.
Oh. No. Ah! Boom.
a small smoke cloud of dust pops up.
Oh, guys, Tandi, I see you're back.
I joined up with the mountain goat group, but that didn't work. Again, my gifts are more mental. I can't.
More mental. You get some more mental. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not really great at this. But you know, I'm good at all the other stuff. So let me do this. Okay. I can send you on another placement. Maybe something that will work your mental skills a bit more than your physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would
That's
that
my
be
strength.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay. And you know, I really hope this one works out, and you know, you're not back here again.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, good luck.
Okay.
Okay. All you have to do is get the honey out of that there pot over there. Now we have 100 pots, and it should take you a whole day to do. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Falling in with another group of bears. I thought we were the only bears here in the forest, y'all.
Well, I'm a remote bear.
Oh, okay.
Since this is where all the honey stash is, I'm the one that has to make sure it's processed, make sure it stays sticky and liquid for all the other bears right before the great hibernation. They have to eat this stuff, keeps them real well and fat. So all you do here is you whip this honey in all those there jars right there, and then we call it a day.
Okay. All right, I can do that. I'm used to honey. Oh, this stuff is sticky. Oh, wait a minute, I'm slipping.
No.
I'm
Oh. Did you fall in the jar here?
my whole body.
Well, I've never seen that happen a day in my life. Let's I think you should probably just leave.
Insane. All right, whip that honey. All right, sorry, John. You were saying about this clip. I haven't seen it either.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me just preface who this guy is. Kevin Samuels. The man is Kevin Samuels. He is now one of the hottest YouTube personalities out there. This guy, he's said he kind of takes this don't give women any more credit than they deserve kind of approach. That's like his whole thing, right? And what makes him very visceral is he has a podcast where he basically chats with women and they ask questions, he answers them. They try to disprove his points, but he has some pretty well thought out points, at least from his point of view. So after watching a series of this, now I haven't been watching him a lot. I watched him probably the last couple of weeks. And the first person I thought was, I wonder what Tandi feels about this guy. Not because I think that y'all would have any kind of conflict, but necessarily I hold you in a very intelligent person. And I want to hear what an intelligent woman's perspective is on what this guy is saying, right? Because I can have my own feelings, emotions, but I'm married, right? I'm out the game. My point of view on women, I mean, is nothing, right? Like, I mean, I have a point of view. I have a high point of view on women, but I mean, I don't have a dog in the race. So I wanted to show this clip. This clip is called Feel the Pressure. It's only 1 minute, and I tried to find a clip that I thought could accent his actual personality. And then after that, we'll have a discussion and maybe turn that into a scene. So y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sure am.
I want you to feel the pressure. Good. You got a top 10% or higher man, you should feel the pressure every goddamn day. Fight. Don't you go to sleep. Don't you eat that cupcake. You better drink that water. Better drink that slim tea or whatever. Get your ass on a treadmill, climb that rope. Get your ass to work because that's what he has to do. Stop worrying about this and that and play offense, not defense. That's what so many of you ladies are worried about. How do I defend? Why don't you go on offense? Why don't you make home so goddamn nice? Keep his stomach empty, stomach full, his balls empty, and his mind at peace so much he doesn't want to go anywhere else. How about that? What a novel goddamn concept. Make it to where even if he is with her, like, damn, you may be good at that thing you do. I'm trying to get home to her because she knows how to rub my head right. How about that?
So I think that's pretty something like, oops. It was playing in my ears. I'm like, why is the Breakfast Club in my ears? But yeah, I think that sums him up. So in that clip, man, what are y'all feelings about it? That was y'all first. I just gave y'all first introduction to that dude. I want to hear around the table, first introduction, not knowing anything more than that. What did y'all feel about that clip?
It wasn't my first introduction, so I'm gonna let whoever just heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
Sure. Before you
get it right.
Feel the pressure. Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about this guy. When you first mentioned, or someone first mentioned his name, there was some comparison to the Black Phillip show, which I actually enjoy. I think the show, it needs to be taken with some caveats, but there's some interesting discussion in there. For this guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know what his credentials are. You say that women call into his show?
Yeah. That was a woman who he tapped into the show. They asked questions. They'll ask questions like, why aren't there any good men in the world? Why are all women stuck with this terrible dating selection? And he will counter and saying, well, you can't blame all of the men on the dating. Maybe is it your expectation? Is it your what you can attract? It's all these different things. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest disconnect, here's my take on it before everyone shares. Listening to Patrice O'Neal, I haven't heard anybody or any men really challenge women on how a lot of men that I've grown up hearing them in the, let's say, not in the closet, behind the scenes, where they're not as likely to be shunned. A lot of guys have these thoughts. And a lot of guys are starting to feel like the extremes, right? The extra masculine. And then we're hearing a lot about the incels, right? These two, I guess these extremes, right, are having issues trying to find a place. Where do they go? The masculine men want to be able to say, I like bitches, right? And I don't want anybody to tell me that. But there's no place for them. They can do it without offending, 80% of the population, which is probably women on that platform. And then the incels don't have any place that they can actually even attract women. So I think he's coming up in that disconnect, right? But from a credential standpoint, he's an image consultant. He's been doing sales. He's a corporate guy. He gets hired to help executives basically re-image themselves for dating. He's kind of like a Hitch kind of person.
He's a salesman. Okay. All right. Well, then it makes sense for him to say what he's saying. Like, if women are coming to him for advice, his advice is going to be better yourself. Here's how you do it. Become a better you. Do this, do that. Don't do this. I mean, it makes sense. And
it makes sense from a salesman, Tandi. That's what he's saying. Yeah. He's the salesman. So his mind, he's saying he will start with the problem, make you see the problem, and then offer you the solution. That's what he's saying. Not that he possibly agrees with Kevin Samuels.
Oh, I know Antoine. Go ahead.
I know. I'm just reading on your face.
You know me?
No,
do you?
Every you know what? This is I have long said that there are lots of things I don't know about you. You are absolutely right. I hope I do. I no, okay. I'm gonna let y'all, and then I'm gonna come in. I don't wanna just go. So y'all
Yeah,
keep on
yeah. I don't
talking,
want to
and then
just
I'll
go
get in
either, because I feel like I could take this a bunch of places where it doesn't even need to go. But I want to give Amechi a chance to hear. I want to hear his thoughts.
I don't know. To me, it's always hard to listen to people who are like, here's the one foolproof approach that is gonna, get you everything you want. Like, no, it's not. You can follow all that advice and still be wherever you are right now. You could do none of those things and be happier tomorrow. He doesn't know. He's just saying stuff that some people are gonna, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I wish women would do that for me. I think that's what's happening there. He's talking to a woman, but he's really talking to the guys who want to hear him say those things. I think is what that is.
Absolutely.
Of course. And it's so time out for people who feel that they're giving you this rough reality, this rough truth. It's not going to be pretty when I give it to you. It's going to be rough, but it's the truth, and it's going to help you. And we're so past that moment. I think we're so past that moment in our society. I think that I find some of the things I've heard him say to be on the cruel side, just because he feels that he can and he has this platform and he feels that he's delivering rough justice. But as men, as y'all were listening to that, did y'all not hear? And I don't know if you took offense at him telling this woman, if you're trying to get this top 10% man, right? So he's even qualifying what type of man she needs to be doing these things for, a top 10% man. I was like, as a man, I'd be like, well, wow. But I thought this was just advice for all men. This doesn't even apply to me. I'm not even a top 10. Or what is a top 10% man, right? So
I think a lot of guys have an idea of what a top 10% man is. In my opinion, guys are very good at like sizing each other up as far as like what are their stats, what do they got going on for them. They're fit. They got money. They got the job. They got the lady, the house. Right? The check. Let's tally up the score. I think I think guys are surprised by the idea of a top 10% man.
So when he's not if you don't find yourself a top 10% man, so then these rules that he's giving this lady don't really apply to you. So you should not expect that type of behavior or those types of actions from a woman. But I think the problem is because he's a man and he's saying it, a lot of men just think that way. And so they're like, oh yeah, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. I don't know. All I know is he ain't talking to me, right? He ain't talking to me. And I was saying that before the show. Yeah, I mean, it's just something that's out there and people are listening to, and I'm like, I don't have to listen to that. But I'm a part of the group of women in the world that he's talking about. So I can't just stand by and be like, whatever. I mean, I have a daughter. I'm concerned about what kind of dating world, or if she decides to get married, marrying world is going to exist if we have this type of popularized bullshit.
Let me ask you this, because again, I only have this one clip to go off of. But is there anything in that clip that you found just completely like off the mark, inaccurate, toxic, dangerous, whatever the negative adjective you want to throw at it? Like, was there a particular thing you said there?
What I always react to is any type of advice or guidance that continues to have women pit themselves against each other. There's always this competition. If you're not doing all these things, then he's going to leave and he's going to be outside doing it with somebody else because you're not doing it. So there's that constant competition of, I got to do all the right stuff so that, you know, I can keep my man, or I can, you know, have a faithful husband in a relationship or boyfriend or whatever it is. And, you know, anything for me that pits women against each other, I don't even listen to it, because we're not even, that's beyond, I think, where we need to be, and where I think women are hopefully growing to. So, you know, this whole thing about keeping somebody, fuck you. You go, if you want to stay, right? No, I mean, because that's why there's no, I personally, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be attracted to a man who considers himself a Tom Tipper said I mean, but that's not who I am. There may be women who are, but that's not who I am. So, you know, hearing that, oh, you got this job, you got this car, I'm like, okay, whatever, that's what you got. Okay, whatever. So all of this stuff that he's putting out there, I was like, oh, he's not talking to me. But I feel badly for women who are achieving, they got those checklists, they're trying to get this, they're trying to get that, and they're listening to this, and they're like, oh yeah, well, maybe I need to do this, and maybe I need to do that. Why is everything, why are so many steps like geared toward stepping toward a man, getting a man? Why aren't these steps just you being a better person? And if you happen to find somebody you love, you get along with, life is good with, then that's great. But why are all of these steps? Because you got to get that man. That's the narrative that I back away from.
Isn't that the narrative that these women are bringing to him?
They are. I'm not saying he created it. I just, when I hear that, I don't listen. I don't listen to that, because that's not how I'm geared. That's not even how I see it. So yeah, I mean, they are, because they still follow. I believe a lot of women, you know, follow that pattern of, how do I get this? How do I achieve this thing?
He definitely goes after my generation, our generation of women, because I've only watched, like I said, 2 weeks of content. I'm not a diehard fan. I actually think Patrice O'Neal's version on the Black Phillip show was more digestible, because he's a comedian. And deep down, he's going to always be able to get under your skin, you know, because he's a comedian. But when you don't have a comedian lens, you are adding some pretty toxic ingredients into the water. But it does kind of show you, again, like from what I'm seeing, a person who is focused, who knows who they are, and doesn't feel like they're broken. It's not going to be trying to get on his show to be validated by Mr. Kevin Samuels. So it's a very good piece of content, by the way, because as a viewer, I'm like, who in the right mind would do this? He's going to say something that's going to hurt your feelings, almost certainly, right? Unless you don't. I mean, talking about this concept, like this subject, right? It's kind of it's very sticky. It's either it's not worth your time to have a conversation, which is probably most people, you know. But if you jump in the conversation, you're not going to win, because it's his platform, and it's his point of view in the world that you are trying to dictate. And in that world, if you want to call it the good old boys world, good old boys system, that is a real thing, man. There are guys and women who do have that kind of, I need 6 figures, right? I knew people that were like, man, if I'm not a millionaire by 30, I don't know what I'm gonna do. 30 came fast, right? You found out it's a lot harder to make $1 million just off of just pretty looks. Now you might get lucky, you know, or maybe your knee went out in college, so you didn't make the NFL. He's speaking to all those people who are holding their value into perception. But I will say, I'm kind of, like I said, there's mixed feelings. My mixed feeling about him is that there has to be a voice for everybody. Everybody has to kind of have the platform to share, kind of like Kwame Brown, right? What Kwame Brown is saying is kind of stirring up the bee's nest and the hornets for all the players, coaches, all those people that he was connected with that were kind of shitting on Kwame because they didn't think maybe he was still a real person. But his voice is causing a lot of toxicity. Is it positive? I think it can be positive. I think people can watch it and go, you know what? I don't think I really want a guy who would consider themselves the top 10% if this is how they really think, right? Versus I'm going into a relationship and I'm going to try to dictate what this man's behavior or this woman's behavior is based on what I think is my expectation. So watching that kind of like, if I'm not single man anymore, but if I was single, I would be going, oh my God, I would never play with any of the women that are coming on this show because they are feeding the beast. They're saying, well, I think I need a Birkin bag. I mean, I got a master's degree. Why don't I deserve a Louis Vuitton bag? Why don't you deserve a Louis Vuitton bag? You think a dude is just supposed to buy you a Louis Vuitton bag? Or I'll give you another example. I didn't get in trouble at work for this, but it sent waves a lot around some of the people in my office, not to say any names respectfully, but I asked this question. I said to all my single ladies in the office, specifically my office, I said, if a guy on your first date who was, let's say, the guy of your dreams in your head, whatever that means, and on the first date, he says, hey, let's go pick up some Chick-fil-A and go to the park and just chat. How would you feel? 9 out of 10 women that I asked all couldn't get past Chick-fil-A. Why does he have to take me to Chick-fil-A? One, that wasn't what I asked. Two, you just told me right then and there, if I was a single man, kind of what your, like where your head is as far as what you think should be done or expectations without even getting to know me and see it if that's even something that you should make me have to participate in. For example, it may cost, one lady told me, I think Roof Chris is my first date. That's my first date of choice. That means you go there often, which means that's possibly a lot of money that you're getting these guys to put up without even knowing if there's even some kind of connection. So you are off, right? Your way of looking at a relationship is slightly off because that paying for Roof Chris will not demonstrate any value about what that person brings to the relationship. And that was my thoughts on the Kevin Samuel is he's doing the same thing I asked, which is, except for I'm not going to shame you or try to give you advice on it. I'm just going to know in my head, oh, when you tell me how bad dating is, I know deep down you could have passed on the guy that would have made you possibly the most, what you want to call it. I don't want to say happy, but the most content in a relationship. The guy that was he was more intentional on what you were in the relationship versus how generous I could be with my money or spending, or how lavish and intact can I be with my image, and image, as we're seeing, man, is nothing, man. Look at everything. Look at on your phone, man. All these people's images, they're PRs, right? And I think we're just I personally believe the US is reaching closer and closer to an idiocracy where the amount of people you influence will completely dictate the value you have, possibly even from a political standpoint. They'll be like, oh, Kim Kardashian has 1.8 billion followers. That makes her the world's smartest person. And you're going to be like, how? Well, can you deny you want to go against 1.8 billion people who are saying she's smart? They're going to blow you off of social media. I think that's where we're going. And I think he is kind of like Trump, right? He exists because there's a platform that allows him to exist at the time where people are sitting at home trying to figure out what's wrong with them, right? That's my 2 cents.
We cut to a father about to talk to his son. Amechi, can you come in here?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, yeah, have a seat. Have a seat. I was talking to your mom, and she mentioned that you have this girl you're interested in at school, and I thought I'd sit you down and tell you about your mom and I's first date. Maybe you can get some lessons here.
Fine, okay.
Sure. So, first thing first, I had to go and rent the most expensive car I could find. It's very important. You have to get it shined, detailed, cleaned, make sure it smells good, and then you go pick her up. Right? I picked your mom up. We drove around the city through the tollway booth for 2 hours. And I was just letting that easy tag ride, you know? And then we pulled up to the restaurant, most expensive sushi bar in the city, ordered everything on the menu. My first date with your mom drained my savings completely. It's I'm not necessarily a gambling man, but I did it for love. And that's one thing I want you to know. If you want to take out the special girl, you need at least $20,000 in your savings account to spend. Okay, do you have that?
No,
You're not ready to date then. You're not ready to date.
Because I don't have $20,000?
Because you do not have $20,000. That is if you want to be a 10% man, a top 10% man, like your dad, you have to drain your savings account, or else they don't think that you think that they're worth it. So you drain it, but you drain it for love, son. I want you to remember that. Right? When you're taking that money out of the ATM, when you're writing those checks, when that credit card comes back steaming hot, that's all love.
I mean, Dad, I've been mowing yards all summer and power washing, the neighbors' houses and everything, and the driveways. I'm nowhere close to having $20,000 when I, especially when I take out the money I had to spend on equipment and everything.
Well, then you're nowhere close to being ready for the love of your life, son. Look at your mom and I, right? What do I do? Every day I buy her something. Every single day. Because that's the expectation I set for our relationship. Right. And that's what she expects from me. And that's what they're going to
drives on the tollway, just doing laps on the tollway every Sunday.
Every Sunday, like clockwork. Yeah, for the easy tag, son. And then at the end of the day, I print out that easy tag transcript that shows how much I spent, and I write "I love you" on that thing, and I give it to your mom.
We cut to the bank the next day with his son. Hey, so my banker was kind of looking at your balance sheet, and we want to see, is everything okay with you and your girlfriend?
Well, she's not really my girlfriend yet. I'm still, I know that's in my business plan. I'll raise this money and then ask her out on a date, but I haven't quite hit the threshold of bank account balance that I want yet. So, still got more. I got some new customers though, so I'm working my way up a bit quicker.
Well, what I wanted to speak with you about is, there's another way that you can kind of jumpstart your relationship, and we have this new loan here. It's called the secured relationship loan. And what it is you'll put your relationship as collateral, and then we'll give you the $20,000, and then that will be enough money for you to secure your relationship with this young lady. And the money would only be able to be used on items that you purchase with her.
Okay. When you say I use my relationship as collateral, does that mean like if I default on my loan or I can't pay it back, I have to break up? Like,
you have to break up, and you'll still owe us the $20,000 plus 500% interest. But 500% interest is just a balloon payment. It's just in case if there's a bunch of relationship breakups, the market interest rates on these kinds of loans go sky high. I don't think it will happen. It hasn't happened in a long time. But if it does, you might be required to pay 5 times the principal of interest. But as long as you stay with that long, you get in that relationship, you stay the long haul. I'm telling you, this relationship will be worth millions.
Okay. What do I sign? I'm in.
You sign right here, sir. And then you sign right here.
Wow, this is great. Okay, I'm feeling really good about this.
You want some champagne and some roses, man? You're about to be in a relationship, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. We got a new bachelor right here. Is about to get his courtship on.
Ding ding ding. Ring a bell and all that.
All right.
Nice,
So
nice.
make sure that you also send us pictures when you are consummating the marriage. That also gives us
Wait, what?
And scene.
we need evidence that the relationship is growing. Yeah, man.
Scene.
But Kevin Samuels just said a line where he said that because there was a woman that said when he asked her why does she need to have a guy that made six figures, and long story short, she said that she believed that she was worth it. He did say that means that you are shitting on all of your fathers, grandfathers, fathers, grandfathers, uncles, all these guys who statistically have never been able to hit that number, but still did great, became great fathers, great husbands. And he does mention in some of the things I've seen, depending on the platform, if it's not his platform, he'll go a little bit more, I'll say softer on what he really clarify a little bit more where he's coming from. On his platform, he's just like nasty, but sometimes he'll stand up for the guys and say like, hey, what I'm saying, in essence, there are a lot of guys who are having dating issues as well. Some of the women are having higher expectations than what these guys are able to deliver. So in that pocket, like he's speaking to those demographic guys who are in the game who are like, dude, how come I have to go to Ruth Chris for every date? And these women who are like, hey, why is it this guy have a Ferrari and walking around with 9 chains on his neck? He's a bum to me, right? Those two individuals are high school minded, right? But he's speaking to these people. And sometimes you get some of these older individuals that jump in. And just like anything, the internet's going to highlight the worst of the American Idol you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to show the absolute worst. But that's what I mean. Like there's a lot of stuff in there, but
see, if I think that, I mean, okay, it's problematic, but at its core, if I could find any benefit in what he's doing, if his message is be your best self, right? Bring your best self to the table. If that means you want to achieve these things financially or academically, push yourself and do that so that you feel good about you feel good about, the type of person you are trying to enter into a relationship, right? If at the core, if that's the message, I can support the message where you are encouraging men and women independently, be your best self. It's not about matching up together, whatever. Just, forget that part. Be your best self. But I mean, he's not doing that. But if there's anything I could to try to clean it up or find a kernel of something good, that would be it. But he's talking about that, but there's never any conversation about whatever traumatic past you've been through, what any problems or any other things that you need to work out and work on before you enter into a relationship. It's well, I haven't heard everything, and maybe he does touch on it sometimes, but it's usually not that.
Yeah, he has justified side chicks though. I was going to play that clip. His justification for side chicks. Hear me out. Here is his justification. He said that since the beginning of time, this is his words, right? That the men had let's call them the 10% men, right? In the animal kingdom, it'll be the 10% of the male animals that populate the rest of the whatever, right? And this is what he said. He said that in the 10% men, since the beginning of time, they've always had options, meaning they've always had more women that sought them out than there were men to seek out women, right? So the top 10% men are getting 80% of the women, or like really the top 20% men are getting 80% of all of the volume of women, and the bottom 80% men are fighting for the scraps. That's what he's saying. That's Pareto's law, right? But his reasoning for saying that is he's saying that he thinks it is archaic to believe that the population can continue to grow through monogamous relationships. And that polyamory polyamory actually makes more logical sense. And some people, it makes logical sense to them in a relationship to be able to exercise options. Case in point, he says, you know, the top 10% of the men don't cheat, they exercise their options. That's what he says. Like I said, these are well thought out arguments, right? This is a guy who has put together an argument with some legs on it. This is not a guy that's like drunk and he's like, well, I mean, could a woman beat my ass? I don't think so. This is a guy that's like going and trying to put together an argument saying, here's why men, or the top 10% of men, have a hard time staying devoted to one woman, is because they have an overwhelming access to options. And sometimes they exercise those options.
Sorry, that's weird. Like he says it's the top 10% of men.
That's what he said.
All the way up and down the scale, there's men cheating. Or exercising the options, whatever he wants to call it. So that's I have to call bullshit on that. Whatever he's talking about. Yeah.
He said the bottom 10% are cheating.
Yeah, if you're down there, you're cheating. If you're up here, you're not cheating.
You're not cheating.
Yeah.
You're cheating if you're in the bottom. Cheating,
but
you're exercising options
else.
if you're in the top.
It's exercising options, but it's a class. It's class.
It's classist. It's classist.
Yeah, so,
class system. Like I said, it's always what I'm saying. You don't have to rush to having a moral judgment. I don't have a moral judgment on them. Some guys I know I've talked to love them. Some people are kind of like,
of course.
Yeah, that dude crazy. You know, some people just watch it because they like seeing ratchet women get shitted on. Like that's their own thing. But you know,
ratchet women getting shit on in a construct of society that they didn't create. Men created that construct. Women didn't. Women didn't create the construct of men are supposed to provide for them. Men are supposed. We didn't create that. We didn't.
I'm not saying you did.
Did we? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's like, who do you blame?
Do you think that women get most of their advice for getting a man from other men or from women?
No. Yeah. That's your conversation. That's like, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is it because they don't trust a man's advice?
No,
because,
I mean, I think
a man will tell you, right? And I've had ladies friends that I've had, and my lady friend gave me the best advice. I said, "How do you know when a woman really likes you?" She said, "She always wants to spend time with you." I was like, "Man, that makes sense." And she was right. Women want to spend time with me, has some interest in me, right? I asked her. I didn't ask my dude. Well, you gotta, grab her ass, and you gotta make sure she eat at Roof Chris or some bullshit, right? So is it that y'all don't trust men's advice?
No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I think like growing up, as you start to get information, I think it comes from women because that's who you're around most. Women in your family, more than likely your friends. And then I think after a certain age, then you may include men in the conversation or taking advice from them, like the Steve Harveys. And now this guy, right? You're like, oh, I'm 30, I'm not married, or I'm whatever age and I'm not married. I should ask a man's perspective. What am I doing wrong, or what should I be doing to get whatever? Or let's hear what men have to say about, what we need to do to get them. I was like, oh, girl, please. Be you. Just be your. I'm sorry. I don't have a platform.
Be you isn't good advice. I'm going to say that right now. Being you is not good advice. If being you isn't working for you, if being you isn't getting you the results that you need, stop being you. You got to be a better you.
I agree with that.
C-Ton gives dating advice.
You got to take inventory of yourself.
Yes. Being you can be a better you. I just don't be. I would think don't be a different person. Or don't act differently, or whatever. Just people just have the freedom to be themselves. I mean, so many other people didn't. But think about it, Antoine. Every woman.
You have to clarify what that means too, right? So does it mean be yourself means you get to wear a Birkin bag because that's what you're interested in and go to Roof Chris, and you want a man to pay for it? you
That's
can't be
insane. You should
yourself.
pay for it yourself. No, if
Exactly.
that's what you want, you should be purchasing that for yourself, right? And if your goal is to never go below that level, then say, oh, okay, well, I just need to be with somebody who makes the same amount so that I can continue to purchase my Birkin bag. Not I gotta trade my feminine wiles or what I look like, in exchange for a Birkin bag. I'm worth that.
Do you think women would like if a guy, instead of buying them a Birkin bag, a guy taught them how to invest in the stock market so that they can make?
That's too many steps. No, I don't. I do not.
Listen, hear me out.
You asked me in general. I like the information.
I'm just saying. I said, do you think a woman, right? And my argument is, it's kind of like, and I've heard Antoine make this argument, right? Is it more valuable if I teach you how to fish? Wouldn't that be a greater gift for a man who is interested in you, right? He can make you get what you want and everything that you can imagine that you want, versus he has to go out and split his earnings, part of it to go to things you want, but you can actually do for yourself, but you think it's a custom that I do it for you. And then the other piece of my money goes to things that I need to go myself. Why can't he just, hey, before we get into all that, let me show you a couple little things that you could do from your phone. Take your money and you will have a Birkin bag in no time. That's what Kevin said.
We cut the Tandi bear in the HR cave again. Well, Tandi, I've noticed that you've really improved in the last few months. This is great. You're an expert at climbing mountains now. The honey stores never looked better. I mean, wow. It's very well organized. Where did you pick up these skills? I'm curious.
My new bear boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I met him when I had the other outside honey job with the other bears. Mm-hmm. He's really patient with me. Yeah, he's really patient with me. After I fell into that jar of honey, he helped me clean myself off. And he's like, look, you're doing it wrong. Okay. And he's like, I'll give you 6 quick and easy steps to follow so that you can stir the honey, get it foamed up, stay clean, and produce even more honey that you can store for hibernation and then sell some to make a profit.
Wow. What was his name?
Oh, his name is John Bear.
John Bear?
You know John Bear? Yeah, do you know John Bear?
Yes, I know John Bear. Yeah, he's a top 10% bear. Yeah, he is.
He's a top 10. He's got that show on radio, Bear ZW.
Yeah,
you can call in and he gives other bears, especially male bears, he gives them advice on how to become top 10% bears. And then sometimes women bears call in too, and he lets them know what they're doing and how to do it better so that they can get a top 10% bear. It's really, really wonderful.
Oh, wow. That's great.
We cut to the Bear TRZ show, whatever it's called. Callers calling in. John Bear?
Yes.
Hey, thank you for taking my call, man. I really appreciate it. I need some help. I am deep in relationship debt right now. I owe so much, and my relationship is on the rocks. I'm staring down the barrel of relationship bankruptcy, and I need some help. Can you help me out?
Oh, well, first of all, it's clear you're not in the top 10% of the bears.
I'm trying to get there, man. I'm trying.
And somebody should have told you never put your relationship on credit, man. You can't. It's too risky. What you need to do is go ahead and file that bankruptcy. All right. But then you're going to, that's not going to mean anything. You got 7 years, right? That means you're still going to be single for 7 whole years. But in that 7-year span, you can learn all kinds of new things like honey and inventory management. You can set fish nets, gather a whole lot of salmon. You could find, hikers' phones and start investing in Coinbase and Squares and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of things you could do in 7 years, man. You could become your wildest dreams in that 7 years. So when you come out of that 7-year relationship hibernation of debt, you're back clean, right? And now you're in the top 10%, and you can get a new relationship credit, but this time it'll be way worth more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great, John Bear. You know what? Your book is on the way. Like I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting by the mail to get it. And I'm going to start reading it. I'm going to start doing all of that, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Just go ahead and subscribe and like to my page, and add a tip if you like as well. Let's go to our next caller.
Oh, hi. I was a top 10% bear, but the new rankings came out and I fell out of the top 10%.
Oh man!
And my life had just gone. It's just gone to hell. I mean, I can't explore my options anymore.
So you got caught cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was at the time. How was I supposed to know I was cheating at the time?
You got to constantly stay up on your stats, man. That's a part of being a top 10% bear. You always know your ranking. Because if you're not watching your ranking, what's the point of being ranked, right? Unless you are number one. And if you're number one rank, you know you're number one because everybody's trying to get to you. Everybody. All right. So here's what I suggest.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest you go back to the bank and add another line of credit, relationship credit for that side piece that you had. And then you start building the relationship equity in that line. And that what that will do is it'll put more pressure on your last credit to get it together. Otherwise, they're going to take that credit from you. And that is also on her name. Okay.
Okay. So, I'm writing this down, but didn't you just tell the last caller not to put a relationship on credit?
That's what you should not do. But if you're not a top 10% bear, if you're a top 10% bear, you want to use all the credit. Get as much credit as possible because you can exercise as many options as you need. Okay. Sorry to hear that, man. Remember, it's not cheating unless you confessed. One. And that's the end of the Radio Bear Show, where John Bear gives you all the advice for growing your top 10% stats. Have you ever been somebody who wanted to just be recognized as great and a leader and somebody who could be trusted, somebody that's taking life by the balls or the vagina? Either way, like and subscribe to my page.
And that is the Can't Tell Us Nothing show, everybody. Thank you. I hope you're writing all that down, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Never start a relationship on credit.
Oh, God.
Check your rankings.
Check your rankings.
Check your rankings.
And then if you're at the top, exercise your options. DJ Comfy, get that music queued up. For John, for Tandi, for Amechi, for myself, Antoine, that's the Can't Tell Us Nothing show. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to the people in the chat. Benita, Stressa, Kenneth, Karna, John, Antoine. Thank you so much for leaving comments. Thank you. Come back again every Tuesday night at 9. Come back, check us out. Thank you, Facebook.